Hello, everyone. Happy Monday night. I hope that I find you today in a good spirit. And there is a topic that I really want to discuss today, and I'd like to hear your opinion on it. Um, it's inspired by a recent conversation that I had with somebody I really care about, and we were talking about what courage is. Is it something big, when you maybe save someone's life? Is it something where, you jump in, down from the roof in a superhero outfit? What is courage? And is it possible that sometimes we are being courageous, but we don't even know that? And meanwhile, I want to say hello, Aaron and Thomas and Ricky. Hello, guys. Good to see you here this evening. And feel free to participate in this discussion now or after. But I would like to share my perspective on it. And I have to agree that it had changed through the years. I also thought before that courage is something totally out of the box. It's something that they would show on TV. It's something only extreme situation where you are, an undeniable hero and things like that, where you really made something that is newsworthy, what they call it, I guess. But I really think that courage is something that happens a lot more often, and that we do not recognize it sometimes in ourselves, and we don't recognize it in others just as often as we don't see it for ourselves. And for example, I really believe that it takes a lot of courage to reach out to somebody and tell them that you're sorry. If you know that you were not right in something, you know that deep inside that you hurt somebody that were not was not didn't deserve to be hurt by you. You know that you hurt someone's feelings. You know that somebody treated you well and did good things for you, and the circumstances or whatever was happening, you hurt them. And I believe it takes bravery and courage to call them or see them and apologize without being attached for the result, for the outcome of that. That's the inner desire to act despite of the fear of rejection, despite of the thoughts that that's okay. It's kind of that thing when you afraid but you're doing it anyway. And courage could be very, very little tiny things. It could be getting up in the morning when it's cold and rainy and snowing, and you put your shoes on and you go run, or you decided to get up 1 hour earlier because you want to get yourself some downtime. You want to prepare for the day. Maybe you want to write something. Maybe you want to work on yourself before the world gets up and gives you the agenda. The little courage could be not being afraid to speak up and finally tell people what you think about certain situation or what you think about them. I believe it does take a lot of courage to stand for yourself sometimes, and let people know sometimes that you aren't an idiot, that you see and understand everything, and that now on you're not gonna let things to happen, that you are done with the way things have been. And actually not just say it but follow up with that. It's kind of, I believe that courage is changing your perspective on your own self sometimes, and stepping up in a new role, and being unapologetic about it, and get out of the small box. Or how sometimes we are playing small. There are certain people in our life where, just to not bother them, we kind of playing small or playing dumb. I think the courage is also to stop doing that. Maybe you should not be around certain people, if that environment is so toxic that you can't be yourself, or cut the communication down. But it's also courageous to finally cut the BS and just do your thing. A lot of things in life that we are doing on a daily basis, we can actually call courage. And seriously, sometimes when you are depressed and you're hurting in life, just getting out of bed and taking a shower is a big act of courage, because it could be the day where you are drinking and laying in bed, or God forbid, using drugs. So I believe it really depends on the situation where you find yourself. And big courageous moves, I think, contain from these tiny little wins that we have over ourselves. It's also the choices that we make sometimes, when you were thinking, okay, should I go for extra chocolate, or should I go out and walk? Should I watch TV, or should I go and read this incredible book, full of amazing insights? Should I call the person that I have been missing and, stop playing that I don't care about them? Should I just pick up the phone and tell them that? Should I call and apologize? Or should I call and tell the person that I have feelings for, that I have feelings for them? So, Jonathan is saying, keep those eyes the same. Yeah, I'm definitely keeping my eyes the same. Thank you, guys. By the way, it takes courage to step up for your favorite blogger, I have to say. Thank you, guys. I made that post just for entertainment, because I thought it was pretty entertaining. I received 3 other letters from that person, and I just could not believe the rudeness. I think the other ones are even worse. But I just want to reassure you that I didn't cry at night on that one, and I was just laughing. I just like, oh, wow. But it takes courage. It's actually take courage to show up daily and do good things for people. And if somebody do not appreciate that, that is on them. That's not on you. So thank you guys so much for supporting me. Hello, Billy. Thank you so much. I've missed making my live videos too. Thank you so much, Thomas and Jonathan. Made me laugh. Yes, also, by the way, courage is doing you, being you, despite of how people want to see you, how people would like you to be. And I would also say this, you can always leave the right for people to be dissatisfied with you. If somebody doesn't like your personality, somebody doesn't like your joke, somebody doesn't like your message, somebody doesn't like your makeup, whatever, you can let people, give people the right to be unhappy with you. Yeah, because you're not living the life the way they think you should be living. I actually do think it takes a lot of courage to be yourself when people try to kind of fit you in their own box. So, and I wanted to hear from you guys. First of all, how do you define courage? And secondly, on a second thought, what were the little things or little actions you did that you didn't think that was courageous, but it actually is? I also think that sometimes recognizing others and giving a genuine compliment when it comes from your heart, but you were really shy to say it, I think it's also courage. I don't know so much in US. I think people are more open for compliments. it's kind of part of the culture. They are not always, very much into depths. But they are still nice. They are very often on, how the person looks, or they have a cute purse or something like that. In Russia and Ukraine, people often want to make a compliment, but they are holding back. They're afraid that they will look silly, or that the person will be arrogant, or they feel that because they're not familiar with a person, that it would be awkward if they will make a compliment. So, but I think, one of the some of the courageous things that we can do daily is to compliment and recognize people, in our surroundings. When we just go regular places, I think seeing beauty around you and recognizing it and appreciating it, and telling people how you see them from their strong point, and not being afraid to express your vision. I think it's also take courage. And you can sometimes make people's day, but sometimes you can make someone's life change by just one phrase you say. Sometimes you can notice something that they have been denying inside of inside of their inner being, and your comment, your reassurance could be the last spark that will inspire them to actually do what they want to do. So let's see. Doing the right thing when it's not popular. I agree. I would define that as a courage too. That's what Jonathan is saying. Ulf is saying courage to dance with a girl when you're not a dancer. Yes, I agree with that. Basically doing something, and before, I think the trick is to do it when you have the impulse to do it, because very often we starting to think about that courageous move, and 9 out of 10 we're gonna talk ourselves out so we do not look silly, or we do not look confident. And I don't know, I wanna see some more ideas. I will look after the video is done also, so everybody is welcome to post things. I also think it takes courage to be genuinely kind. To treat well people from who you're not getting any kind of benefits, or people you don't need anything from, and just being genuinely kind. It's kind of being the light for other people and being genuine. I think it takes courage too. Yeah, exactly. Just like Mel Robbins says, do it within 5 seconds or you will overthink it. Yes, I absolutely agree. And I know now, when this life gonna be over, I'm gonna have another 500 examples of courage. But what I want to say, guys, I think it's important to look through your actions. And sometimes we feel like we are not significant enough, or we aren't doing something big in life or something like that. I think it's important once in a while to review your day and your weeks, and think that you have been doing things that been uncomfortable. I would suggest actually having a journal. I got the 5-second rule journal, but it can really be any journal. It can be absolutely any journal. And some things, it's nice to see your progress, and when you track things, and you will see that you actually, as I'm saying this, I just saw a guy on this kind of half bicycle, going up like that. He's a performer, so that takes courage. I don't know how you call this thing. It's like a 2-wheel bicycle, but it's not horizontal. It's like this. It's vertical, but that definitely would take a lot of courage. But yeah, my point, guys, what I want to finish with is this: when you recognize and you recognize the tiny courageous things, when you do them persistently, it builds this wonderful feeling of inner confidence, of feeling that you're accomplishing, you're progressing, and nobody can take this away from you. Be- because when you see you progressed, let's say maybe you lost some weight, or you learn a language, or you stop being mean to people who live with you. You stop yelling. You stop being negative. You're working. You becoming a better person when you can actually track your progress, and you did those things daily, even you didn't feel like doing them. And for example, using 5 second rule, maybe you start to live more within your heart, and those impulses that you get inside, you start in executing them. Maybe you needed to change a city, change a town, change your environment, change sometimes people around you. When you actually recognize you've been doing these things, I think it's set us up for consistency in being courageous, and it's giving you that belief in yourself that is deep inside. It's not depends anymore so much on external things. And this is where you come alive, where real you come alive, and you are becoming, you mastering that, living in that environment of being courageous, and that's becoming your daily thing, and you are going for a bigger things. And you call fear excitement. You don't really feel so much of crippling fear, because that muscle is growing, and if anything, you feel excited. You feel excited what life brings you, and you're going for bigger things. So that's all I want to say, guys, today. The conversation that I had really sparked in my mind this all kinds of thoughts, and I realized that sometimes we don't recognize a lot of we don't recognize some really important things, because we think they are small, but they're not small. All the big things consist of those little tiny wins, and there is no price tag on that. So embrace those little courageous things. The day you choose a tea over the alcohol, the day you get up early than usual, the day you choose better food, better people, you speak your mind, you show love and kindness, you go out into the world with a smile, you spark conversation with person you'll never see again, but you delight them with something, you inspire them with your genuine compliment. The more we have these kind of events in our life, I think the more beautiful our lives will be. There is no such a thing as a small act of courage. Thank you, guys.